Hello world, Krista here with Books and Jams, and today I am here to tell you about my April TBR. I am not sure how things are going to go in April because it is still not quite the end of March and I'm still under this goal of trying to read or complete a book every day in the month of March. I'm getting a little bit wary of the potential of a reading slump when it comes time for April. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I do still have big plans for the month. The biggest goal that I have for the month of April is to focus on reading books that are on my 2018 TBR shelf. I'm gonna put a picture in here of the shelf and I'll put up in the cards the video where I explain what all of the books are. And this month I did a thing. I'm not a big bullet journaler, but I did make a spread here for a visual representation of all the books that I have on that shelf. You can see that there are some that are highlighted. Those are the ones that I have completed already. In order to complete all 50 by the end of the year, I need to be reading about 4 or 5 of them a month, and I'm a little bit behind. So in April, my goal is to focus on books that are on that shelf and see if I can kind of catch up to be at least around the area of where I should be so far this year. But the first book I'm going to talk about, of course, is not on that list. But this first one is for my Goodreads read-along group, which is just a book club where I read with you guys. So I would love to have you join us if you're interested in reading A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. And this, I believe, is a coming-of-age story of a young girl in New York City. So I have heard it kind of has some similarities to Anne of Green Gables, or that same kind of sweet, nostalgic feel. I've never read this book and I'm really looking forward to it, and I would love to have you join along with reading this in the month of April. Then I just went through that 2018 shelf and I just kind of pulled off the books that are standing out to me right now to see if those are the ones that I will read in the month of April. So this is kind of a maybe list, but I know that I'll be picking all books from that shelf other than A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. So next I have The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 2 in the Mistborn trilogy. It's about time that I get around to this. I think I read the first one in October or November, and I need to continue on. So I will be reading this one, or hopefully picking this one up in April. The next 2 books are ones that I predicted will be 5-star reads for me in that Friday 5 that I did in February. The first of those is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a sci-fi about a ragtag group of aliens and humans and other creatures who make shortcuts through space, I believe. So I am really looking forward to reading this one. And I also picked up Codename Verity for a historical fiction. This is by Elizabeth Vine, about 2 girls who are pilots during World War II. And I believe it's a book about friendship and also historical fiction of World War II, which I love. So I'm really looking forward to this as well. I have another sequel here, and that is Unraveling by Sarah Ella. Sarah Ella is a booktuber who doesn't really make videos anymore, but now she's an author. Her first book was Unblemished, and now this is her second one, and I've seen people receiving ARCs of her third one, so that should be coming out pretty soon. And this is a YA fantasy, light fantasy, I would say. It's not a high fantasy. About a young girl who has a birthmark, in a sense, that she makes her very uncomfortable and insecure, but she discovers that that means more than she thinks it does in these alternate worlds. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with that. I may need to read Unblemished first because it's been quite a while, over a year, I think. I know that those are both pretty quick reads, and I'm looking forward to continuing in that series. Then I picked one from the category of gorgeous covers, and that is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. And this is kind of a circus theme about a sister who kind of gets hijacked in a circus, and the other sister has to jump through hoops and figure out what happened to her. I have no clue if that's right. I believe this is another YA, so it should be a pretty quick read. This is a bit polarizing. I've heard some good and some bad about this one, and so I'm interested to see where I land in that one. But look at that cover. The shiny really works in here. Woo, it's gorgeous. And finally, the book that also stands out to me is one of the chunkers. I have 5 big books on the pile, and if I don't get to them, I don't want to get stuck with 5 big books when it comes to December. So I am hoping to get started with The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This is a historical fiction. I believe it kind of revolves around the building of a cathedral, but it's also like a family story, and it is like tiny print. It is a chunker of a book, but I have heard so many people tell me how much they love this book. So I'm very interested in getting it started at least. I'm not sure if I'll finish it in April along with all of these other ones, but I would like to get it started at least. In addition to these, I'm hoping to pick up one of the 5 nonfiction that I have and at least get a nonfiction started. I have such a hard time reading nonfiction, but I would like to get one started again so I don't end up with 5 nonfiction to read in the month of December. So you may end up seeing some nonfiction come the end of the month as well. But those are the books that I'm hoping to read in April, and I would love it if you would comment on any of them. If any of you are interested in reading one of these this month, I would love to do some buddy reads. I don't have any buddy reads set up for the month of April, and I might need that motivation, especially if I start to get slumpy at the end of this current month. So I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Go ahead and hit me up down there if you want to read along with me, and hopefully you'll join in at least for A Tree Grows in Brooklyn on my Goodreads group. Yeah, go ahead and leave me comments down below. Let me know which ones I should read for sure. If you want to read along with me, let me know that. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be talking to you in another video soon. Bye!